While everyone else was blind to what you always saw plainly, your spiritual radar was picking up dishonesty. That uneasy sensation in your stomach, chosen ones, was your spiritual radar, not paranoia. Over many months, they worked in the shadows, manipulating your environment, denying you blessings, and gaslighting you into doubting your own beliefs. The universe, however, never allows this kind of interference to persist indefinitely. When evidence that cannot be disputed surfaces, everything they have been building for months will come tumbling down in a matter of minutes, as you have always suspected. Put yourself in the situation of receiving a vindication so thorough that when confronted with indisputable proof, even the doubters will be left speechless. The way some people made you feel caused your energy field to constrict the instant they walked into your space. Before your head could even start processing the clues, your body was aware of the fake smiles, the false compliments, and the eyes that never quite matched their words. When their frequency clashed with yours, static was created, and only you could hear it. This discomfort wasn't social anxiety. Rather, it was your soul's sophisticated warning system telling you to listen to what it had to say. Divertissements and conditioned reflexes dull the people, causing them to sleep through their whole lives. Outside of the three dimensions that are imposed on ordinary awareness, you have been awake and alert in a world where others are sleeping. The scope of your perception is much wider. While the puppet masters have been chasing shadows, you have been following them as they pull strings behind cleverly constructed illusions. Because of your increased awareness, you are unique and different from other people for reasons that are not widely recognized. The universe grants its people this degree of insight, and not without reason. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. When others see charm, you see deception, and you can see through the layers of veneers that have been built over years. What is often a source of anguish for you is now becoming your greatest weapon: sensitivity. It turns out that the trait they mocked is the one that illuminates their darkest, most private secrets. They have been keeping an eye on, researching, and assessing how you are represented on social media, with each and every post, remark, and image. Your sincere expression sets off something deep within them. Your shining light illuminates the darkness they have worked so hard to keep hidden, even from themselves. They are always attempting to diminish your online presence, leaving behind signs of desperation in the shape of swiftly deleted comments and passive-aggressive responses. This occurs each time you use the internet to fully realize your potential. Regretfully, they were wrong to think that your spiritual discernment was more important than their technical know-how. It is crucial to remember that cosmic intelligence is also sent by fiber optic cables, despite the fact that the digital realm would seem to be their purview. In anticipation of the perfect time for disclosure, the same universal forces who orchestrated synchronicity in your physical surroundings have been accumulating technology proof. Your words ignite the realization that you have what others have not been able to develop: your innate talents, your link to source energy, and your capacity to motivate others. They have no influence over this occurrence. These qualities are what keep their campaign against you going. They analyze your words meticulously in their quest for weapons. But they have no idea that every obsessive click they make exposes their own weaknesses. They worked very hard behind the scenes to block all the gifts that were coming your way. When you stated opportunities and then brought them up in front of them, they disappeared without a trace. Unexpectedly, relationships that were meant to grow cooled down without any apparent reason. Resources that may have aided your development could not have reached you or might have been exhausted before they did. The events in issue were intentional interceptions rather than just fortuitous. Even those who seemed impartial were carefully coerced into joining the cause by feeding them false information that portrayed you as unstable or unworthy. Their network is more extensive than you may have thought, including even seemingly neutral people, mutual connections who are persuaded to keep information that might help you advance, and casual acquaintances who are enlisted to get intelligence. The puppet master's manipulation of strings linked a number of people who were not aware of their unwitting participation in this operation. Despite the impression given by current events, the genesis is far older. The campaign against you began just as your energy started to shift in the direction of growth, as you can see if you look at the chronology. When you made your initial gestures toward real authority, all of their defenses were triggered. Because the first act of sabotage was so subtle, your own memory was called into doubt. This was not a chance event. Rather, it was the first intentional move in a long game designed to keep you vulnerable. In the last place you would expect to look, the individual in charge of this effort is lurking in plain sight. This person is the mentor, whose advice leaves you reliant rather than empowered. The encouraging buddy whose counsel quietly leads you away from your best possibilities, and the motherly figure who consoles you while sowing doubt. The manipulation will go mostly unnoticed as long as they continue to present themselves as nurturers. Their methods include more conventional kinds of energy vampirism, with more sophisticated psychological tactics. When you are sharing an experience, and at your most vulnerable, they sap your creative force. After conversations that should leave you feeling rejuvenated, you get a perplexing sensation of fatigue. Their efforts against you, which exploit your own strength to create barriers that prevent you from progressing, are fueled by the theft of energy. The universe's irony is that they need your energy since they themselves lack the capacity to produce sufficient force from their disjointed condition. Their most severe behavior is motivated by jealousy. Because of your innate connection to prosperity, you threaten their mindset of scarcity. The processes they have learnt are completely outclassed by your instinctive skills. While others are scrambling for breadcrumbs, you attract real chances because of your genuine appeal. They change the terms of engagement to include fighting from the shadows, using proxies, and producing illusions since they couldn't beat you in a spiritual competition that was conducted fairly. They use reality distortion, which is the most dishonest tactic. When you repeat your words to others, you are distorting them. You are being misled about things you remember well. You are rewriting the past you have written together. You are renouncing your previous obligations. Such tactics are designed to break your confidence and make you doubt the clearest memories you once had. A target who is hurt and confused is more easier to control than an enemy who is confident and has a clear mind. However, they underestimate your spiritual resilience, which is one of their most harmful, judgmental blunders. They listed your earthly restrictions, but they did not account for your supernatural abilities. Though they did not take into account your amazing understanding, they prepared for predictable replies. They believed, first and foremost, that you were alone on this journey, unaware that the powers of heaven were assembling to reveal their schemes in a dramatic fashion. His grace is a blessing. To share his light, click Super Thank You and donate $100. His dominion grows as a result of the seeds your donation plants. Act as a blessing. The cosmic gears revolve in an utterly exacting fashion. The retrograde motion of Mercury ends. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. After a pause in communication, everything suddenly becomes quite obvious. For findings that cannot be explained away, May is the month when the divine timeline begins. The cosmos selected this specific time because your spiritual roots have become strong enough to handle these realities without breaking. Digital traces, eyewitness accounts, and tangible evidence are some of the ways that disclosures are concurrently shared. Eventually, indisputable patterns are identified. After being scattered across months or years, the jigsaw pieces finally fit together to form an image so unique that you will wonder how you could have missed it, even though you have been seeing portions of it the whole time. Prepare yourself for information that will significantly change how you see the recent events. The importance of dialogue is always changing. Initially, seemingly random obstacles quickly turn out to be the product of deliberate architecture. Upon closer inspection, coincidences turn out to be intentional acts of sabotage. The narrative that you accepted completely changes when you see it through the prism of deliberate manipulation. Your reality is not destroyed by this information. Rather, it releases you from a complex delusion that was created to limit your true potential. Experiencing some of the following: opportunities that disappeared without explanation, job offers that were withdrawn, connections that abruptly cooled off, partnerships that ended at pivotal points, and those times when advancement toward your objectives inexplicably stopped just after you told certain individuals about your plans was not due to bad luck or unlucky timing. They were all deliberate attempts to keep you from reaching your objectives and fulfilling your destiny. Your statements were misrepresented and used against you. Strangers abruptly addressed flaws that had been revealed in confidence. Mutual relationships were misinformed about intentions. Remarks were misrepresented and circulated to damage your reputation. The tampering of your story was not accidental. Rather, it was a deliberate character assassination, executed via whisper services. The energy drain that followed specific contacts, phone calls that left you feeling mysteriously exhausted, meetings that required you to take days to recover from, and messages that triggered the exaggerated, emotional reactions that you did, was not supposed to be revealed to you. These energy sensations were a sign of spiritual interference, which occurred when your body began to detect assaults that your conscious mind was not yet able to identify, before your logical brain could process the data. The hostile fire was detected by your actual warship. They responded with the most drastic countermeasures available because of your achievements. Unexpected sources of negative comments surfaced. Suddenly, there were administrative issues, and your efforts were the only ones impacted by technical issues. Every time you gained momentum, conquered obstacles, or received recognition for doing any of these things, their efforts increased. The rising amount of effort to impede your progress was directly related to the increasing power you were wielding. Their sensation of urgency grew as the intensity of your light increased. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. These flags flapped wildly within your mind. You are here for a purpose, even if you were unable to articulate the threat they were attempting to communicate. Respond to the call if you sense it. To get deep insights, unique material, and a vibrant community, click Join. This is an awakening, not only a membership. Enter your divine calling. Become one of the selected. If one understands where to look, patterns left by the meddling of money problems may be found. Examine the chronology carefully. Observe how every time new opportunities arose, the financial troubles became worse. See how unexpected bills appeared just as you were conserving money, and how the sources of revenue mysteriously stopped just before significant occasions that needed investment. These coincidences follow mathematical patterns that are much too precise to be the product of chance. In a systematic way, resources meant for your advancement were either halted or diverted. Connections that may have led to revenue possibilities were not made before they really came to pass. Promises of suggestions have been made but never delivered. We have delayed introductions till after the chances have elapsed. Awards and funding details have been kept under wraps until the last minute. This was a deliberate intercept of riches that was meant for your route, not a case of oversights. Their campaign targeted your material foundation because they knew that your financial instability would limit your capacity to accomplish your aim. You waste energy that might be utilized to fuel your spiritual growth when you create problems that are just necessary for survival. This discourages you from spending money on presents that might increase your influence and keeps you focused on your core needs. It is the method of divine restitution, a cosmic balance that gives back what has been taken, plus interest. The financial system is about to open its floodgates, bringing with it not just what was prevented, but also a multiplicative abundance that surpasses what was intercepted. Resource arrivals come from unexpected sources. Opportunities seem to be accessible and arise out of nowhere. The relationships that are made fully sidestep the traditional gatekeepers. The universe creates new routes for communication when existing routes get tainted. This monetary recovery occurs with exact karmic accuracy. Your windfall is measured by the precise amount of energy they used in keeping you from accessing your resources. You are now using every plan they came up with to keep you from moving forward as a guide to explore new areas. Every door they closed caused many additional points of entry to open. Their attempts to create a feeling of scarcity in your experience are the precise mathematical formula for your upcoming riches. His grace is a blessing. Click Super. Give $20 to help spread his light and thank you. His dominion grows as a result of the seeds your donation plants. Act as a blessing. At pivotal moments that you had not even before acknowledged as possibly dangerous, divine intervention occurred. A postponed appointment, a missed connection, or an 11th hour cancellation were examples of apparently random events that were often really signs of spiritual energies that were guiding you away from well-constructed traps. It was an unforeseen obstacle that was frustrating yet protective. When you were on your way to peril, the stranger struck up a discussion with you. The tendency to alter plans without a good reason and the unforeseen barrier that provided cover. Throughout your trip, there are signs of supernatural rerouting at every step. Mysterious failures hindered their most ardent attempts to hurt you. For whatever reason, plans that should have worked out fell through. Equipment broke down at crucial times. Planned assaults were thwarted by misunderstandings. It was deliberate meddling from places outside the sphere of physical experience, not a matter of chance. Forces battling for you intercepted threats and halted them before they could reach you. There is no logical reason why your property should be preserved. You remained much the same in fundamental ways, despite tailored advertisements that were created by many different people. Your spiritual core, your connection to the source, has not been harmed, even if the external circumstances may have changed. This protection was not given randomly, but was designed specifically for souls carrying certain frequencies that were necessary for the progress of the general populace. Your burgeoning energy sensitivity, your quickening manifestation ability, your growing intuition, and your innate ability to heal others were all abilities that were blossoming inside you, and before you ever knew it, they triggered their protective reaction. Rather of developing spontaneously, these skills were awakened in line with divine time, thus training you for a specific function that your enemies identified before you were aware of your calling. They can no longer sustain their meticulously constructed universe because of your authentic presence. The deception fields they have maintained for many years are disrupted by your truth-resonant frequency. You may disturb environments that are built on deceit by just being yourself in your natural state. They cannot corrupt or control you. You are a living manifestation of frequencies. As a result, people criticize who you are rather than what you do. The importance of the assignment that has been prepared for you goes beyond your own achievements. You are uniquely suited for a job that affects the group because you possess a unique combination of skills, challenges, and life experiences. The cosmic rule states that the quantity of light that is going to be released through you is precisely proportionate to the amount of resistance that has to be overcome. Even before you have completely seized it, your enemies are already seeing the potential influence you may have. This challenge will accelerate your spiritual growth beyond the typical developmental stages. In the same way that pressure causes diamonds to form from coal, Purposeful resistance causes spiritual muscles that might ordinarily develop gradually to expand quickly. The evolutionary catalyst that strengthens your abilities beyond what would be seen as typical progress is the resistance they provide. Baths with salt and herbs for protection. Using bells, drums, or certain frequencies, sound clearing is accomplished.